Hello, FlossTube crafty friends. Today is Sunday, the 20th of May, 2018, and I'm coming to you today not with a stitching update yet, because I haven't actually sat down to stitch today. I'm coming to show you something that I've had a request for, and that is making needle minders out of these flares. Okay, it's so easy you're not going to believe it, but I will show you anyway. I purchased these flares. Well, let me back up, sorry. What you're going to need, I just used an old cookie sheet that I'm never going to use for food again. I line it with parchment paper. I've covered my area to protect my working surface as well. You need the flares. You can make a needle minder out of almost anything. Jewelry, flares, wooden pieces, but today I'm specifically going to show you how I make them out of these flares. Now, these flares I purchased from A Flair For Buttons on Etsy, and I highly recommend this Etsy shop. Shelly has a huge selection of flares for every occasion, everything that you could ever want, and the price is fantastic and the customer service is impeccable. So I highly suggest, if you're in the market for some flare buttons, check out A Flair For Buttons. You are also going to need some magnets. These are the magnets that I use most often. I purchased mine online from a company called CMS Magnetics, and their contact information is this, magneticsforsale.com. This particular size that I'm going to show today is about 18 cents per magnet. I buy in bulk. I think on this one I purchased 100 and it was about $21, and that was with shipping. You will also need some E6000. Now you want to have a well-ventilated area when you use this. Maybe if you're just doing one or two, not so much, but if you plan on doing several at a time, you do want to have the windows open. I have them open now. I have a fan going because this stuff is very smelly. This you can purchase at Walmart or Michael's or probably Joann's or Hobby Lobby. Any hardware store I think has this, and it does come in some smaller tubes as well. I just always buy the big tube. Before we get started, I also want to show you for the magnets, these are sizes and shapes that I've purchased in the past, and they have, this is just a small example of the different ones that they have. They are the rare earth magnets, so you can make any size needle minder. Okay, I also have at hand some paper towels in case I need to do a cleanup. We can do that. And let's get started. So what I like to do, and I'm hoping that this is going to show easily, I go ahead, the reason I use a cookie sheet is because, well, the magnets stick to it. And I just try to place them far enough apart that they are not going to jump to one another. You do have to be careful because it's never happened to me, but I have heard people have it happen where they smash together and break. I will show you, I've already opened one, but this is how they come. And they have little plastic dividers between them. But you can get, even without the dividers between them, you can get them apart easily. Okay? So we're going to take our magnets, we're going to set them on here. You can put glue on the magnet, you can put glue on the flares. Oh, and that was something that I wanted to explain on the flares, which ones I get. Shelly offers them in 3 styles. I buy the flat back. She offers them also with a pin back or an open back. But I found that the flat back works best. You could get them with the open back. You would just have to get a thicker magnet so that it stands up more. So, here we go. Another warning, this is so easy, you're not going to believe it. The worst part is the smell of the E6000 and the possible mess. So I just take my E6000, I put a dab on each one. And if you leave your E6000 open in between, it will kind of squirt out. And then I just carefully put it on. That one didn't do so well. And you can take and wipe the excess off. But it's going to dry clear, so it's no big deal if it squishes out. And then I set it back down on there. You can be a little bit more specific or particular on how you set it on there, and it doesn't squish out quite so badly. So here we go again, guys. I'm telling you, this is easy peasy. Can you tell I'm in a Halloween mood? Let's do some for the bees. You clearly could get these to stick with hot glue. However, the magnets are so strong, I feel like that if you tried to use hot glue, it would eventually come apart. So the E6000 is, I think, your best bet. See how, okay, so that came, I've never had a problem with not being able to, if it leaks onto the parchment paper, not being able to get it off. But I guess there's always a first time, so I try to clean up anything that okay, so I think you get the point there. Something I want to point out, if you've never used E6000, see how it kind of sneaks out of there on you. This was actually my daughter's extra one, and she didn't clean it off all the time. I nearly never got the lid off. What I do on a new bottle or a new tube is I will have some Vaseline at hand, and I'll put it around the tip so that I am able, okay, it's coming out fast, so that I can then get the lid off easily. So what you want to do is let these cure for a good 24 hours just to be safe. And then you're going to add your other magnet to it. So I'm going to move this out of view. And I have one here that I have done previously. So this is what it's going to look like. Woo. Didn't mean to blind you. And then you add the magnet to it. I don't put a button onto the second magnet, because I don't have any problem getting them off. But the other reason I don't do that is when I store my needle minders on my metal board in my craft room, I like to just be able to store it together with both pieces. I like the buttons on the back, but for space saving purposes, I just leave it like this. So Shelly also asked me how I use, so I wanted to show that quickly because she had never, I was the first person who had ever purchased these to make needle minders. So I use these in two ways. The first way is that I use it to hold my pattern onto my cross stitch piece. So I just hook it on there like that. I can stitch in this area while my pattern is here, and this is a free pattern, by the way, so no copyright worries. So that I have my pattern close to me. I don't have to keep looking up. I can see it right here. Okay, the other way that I use them, clearly, is as a needle minder. Now, imagine that most of the time I would have a thread attached to this, and the thing that I have noticed about the flares is, which is okay with me, my needle tends to want to go to the back. I'm okay with that. To me, that's even better than it resting on top. I feel like it's more secure to the back, like that. So I'm stitching along, I have to stop. I just pull my needle with the thread in it and slide it over there, and it's not gonna fall off. Make sense? Okay, well, this was short and sweet, but I hope that it helps some of you who were wondering how to make these into needle minders and what you use and where you get the magnets and all that good stuff. I hope that you have a try at making your own. They're quite addictive once you start making them. And just have fun with it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.